Most cat owners expect labor to announce itself. They expect restlessness, crying, obvious distress, some clear signal that something is happening. But experienced cat breeders and feline behaviorists will tell you something that surprises almost everyone the first time they hear it. The most reliable sign that a pregnant cat is about to give birth is not noise or movement. It is silence. A specific, deliberate, deeply intentional kind of quiet that most owners completely misread. And if you have ever had a pregnant cat go suddenly calm and withdrawn right before her kittens arrived, you witnessed one of the most psychologically sophisticated behaviors in the feline world and probably had no idea what you were actually seeing. Hello friends. I want to thank everyone who watches this video and supports the channel. Every like, every comment, and every share means more than you think. For me and for my dreams. Without delay, let's begin. A cat's pregnancy lasts roughly 63 to 65 days. For most of that time, she behaves more or less like herself, eating, sleeping, moving around, perhaps becoming more affectionate than usual or slightly more withdrawn depending on her personality. But in the final hours before labor begins, something shifts. She stops seeking interaction. She moves slowly and deliberately. She may avoid her usual spots. She becomes hard to find, and when you do find her, she is often simply sitting or lying somewhere quiet, eyes half closed, breathing steadily, looking for all the world like nothing is happening at all. Owners who do not know what to look for often interpret this as the cat being tired or fine or just resting. What is actually happening is far more deliberate than that. What you are witnessing in those final hours is a process feline behaviorists describe as pre-parturient withdrawal, a behavioral shift driven by a precise combination of hormonal changes, instinctual preparation, and a form of emotional self-regulation that reveals just how psychologically complex cats actually are. As labor approaches, a cat's body begins releasing elevated levels of oxytocin and progesterone, hormones that do not just prepare the body for birth, but actively alter the brain's processing of external stimuli. The cat becomes internally focused. Sounds that would normally attract her attention register differently. Social interactions that she would usually welcome now feel like interference. Her entire nervous system is narrowing its focus to one thing. Here is the insight that changes how you see this behavior. The quiet is not passive. It is not simply the absence of activity. It is a form of active preparation. The cat is not withdrawing from you because she is in pain or afraid. She is withdrawing because she is concentrating. And the thing she is concentrating on is creating the safest possible psychological and physical environment for the most vulnerable moment of her life. Cats in the wild face a specific challenge that domesticated cats retain the behavioral memory of, even generations removed from that environment. Giving birth is a period of significant physical vulnerability. A cat in labor cannot run, cannot defend herself effectively, and cannot protect newborns who are completely helpless for the first weeks of life. So the instinct to find a hidden, quiet, enclosed space before labor begins is not just physical comfort-seeking. It is a deep behavioral pattern oriented entirely around minimizing risk during a window of vulnerability. Even a house cat who has never encountered a predator in her life will nest in a closet, behind a dryer, under a bed. Not because she is afraid of her home, because she is honoring a behavioral truth that runs deeper than her individual experience. This is where the psychology becomes genuinely layered. The nesting behavior that precedes labor, the gathering of soft materials, the circling, the testing of different spots, is not random. Research into feline maternal behavior has shown that queens, the term used for female cats who have given birth, display a highly developed capacity for environmental assessment in the days before delivery. They are not simply looking for a comfortable place. They are evaluating spaces according to a complex set of criteria: enclosure, warmth, reduced foot traffic, reduced sound, limited exposure. They are, in a real and measurable sense, making decisions. And those decisions reflect a cognitive process that most people do not associate with cats at all. Imagine you have been watching your pregnant cat for weeks. She has been social, present, following you from room to room, sleeping at the foot of your bed. Then, one afternoon, you notice she has not come to greet you. You find her sitting in the back of your closet on a folded blanket, calm, still, looking at you with half-closed eyes. She does not meow. She does not seem distressed. She just looks at you for a moment, then looks away. That is not distance. That is trust expressed in the most feline way possible. She chose your space. She chose a place that carries your scent. She is not shutting you out. She is including you in her safety. The scent dimension of this is something most owners never consider. Cats have an olfactory system that processes smell with a richness and specificity that is difficult for humans to fully appreciate. When a pregnant cat selects a nesting location in a home she trusts, scent is one of the primary factors guiding that decision. Spaces that smell strongly of her owner carry an associative safety signal. Your worn clothing, your side of the bed, a blanket you use regularly. These are not just warm and soft. They smell like the presence that her nervous system has learned to associate with security. The fact that she chooses to give birth surrounded by your scent is behavioral evidence of the attachment bond in one of its most unguarded forms. What happens in the hours immediately following birth adds another psychological layer entirely. A new mother cat will typically keep her kittens in the nest for the first several days, leaving only briefly for food and water. During this time, she is doing something neurologically remarkable. She is imprinting, not just the kittens on her, but herself on the kittens. The sounds, smells, warmth, and rhythms of those first days form the foundational template of what safety feels like for those young cats. Every purr she produces during nursing is not just a comfort sound. Research has confirmed that the specific low-frequency vibration of a cat's purr has measurable physiological effects, reducing cortisol levels, stabilizing heart rate, and promoting bone density. She is simultaneously soothing her kittens and healing her own body. The purr is not emotional expression alone. It is functional biology. And here is something that reframes the entire postpartum period in a way most owners find genuinely moving. During those first days, when the mother cat allows you to approach the nest and look at her kittens without hissing or relocating them, she is not simply tolerating your presence. She is extending her trust to include you in the circle of safety she has drawn around her most vulnerable dependents. That decision, made quietly and without ceremony, represents the highest expression of the bond she has formed with you. She is saying, without any ability to use words, that you belong in the category of safe. Many owners who sit near a new mother cat and her kittens in those first days describe the experience as unexpectedly emotional. There is something about the stillness of it, the mother's calm vigilance, the tiny sounds of the kittens, the way she occasionally looks up at you and then back down, that touches something deep. What you are feeling in those moments is not projection. You are correctly reading a form of intimacy that the cat is genuinely offering. She is letting you witness something she would, by every behavioral instinct, keep hidden from anything she did not fully trust. So when your pregnant cat goes quiet, when she withdraws and becomes still and starts disappearing into small enclosed spaces, do not interpret that as a problem to solve. Do not follow her anxiously or try to bring her back into the flow of the household. What she needs in that moment is the same thing she has always needed from you, the consistent, readable, non-intrusive presence of someone she has decided is safe. Your job in those final hours is simply to be the kind of environment she already chose to be near. Because the silence was never about shutting you out. It was about gathering everything she had, every ounce of calm and focus and biological preparation, so she could do the most important thing she will ever do. And she chose to do it in your home, in your space, surrounded by the scent of you. That is not instinct overriding attachment. That is attachment expressed through instinct. And once you see it that way, you will never look at a quiet cat the same way again. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to help me achieve my life dream. Because at the end of the day, my friend, we both love cats. And goodbye.